Hey guys, it's Samantha. From a brand whose name is in the title of a classic film to one that sells a perfume every 30 seconds, these are the biggest luxury fashion brands.
Number 12. Balenciaga. This brand has been around for over a century since its founder, Cristobal Balenciaga, opened his first boutique in 1917 in San Sebastian, Spain.
20 years later, he built a couture house in Paris, and Balenciaga's first fashion show featured Spanish Renaissance-influenced designs.
After this, he rose to fame quickly in France, and he was often called revolutionary. After he passed away in 1972, Balenciaga's brand was at a standstill until 1986. But despite the fact that he opened his store at the age of 22, this designer has been making clothes since he was 6 years old. Balenciaga made a coat for his pet cat, but didn't like that the cat never stopped moving, so he switched to people. Nowadays, the Balenciaga brand is extremely well known for their handbags, many of which are motorcycle-inspired. In 2017, it also gained recognition for making sock sneakers a luxury item. There are 8 Balenciaga stores in the United States. Number 11. Yves Saint Laurent. We've all heard of this luxury brand in various songs like Cardi B's Bodak Yellow and Post Malone's Ball For Me, but there's a good chance you don't know much about the history of this sought-after brand. It began in 1953 when the man himself, Saint Laurent, submitted a few sketches to a contest presented by the International Wool Secretariat, and he ended up in 3rd place. After being impressed with the drawings Saint Laurent sent in, Michel Brunoff, then editor-in-chief of Vogue France, encouraged him to take classes at the Chambre Syndicale de la Haute Couture in Paris. Laurent graduated at the top of his class and ended up winning the competition. He took 3rd place in the first time, beating Karl Lagerfeld, a then student. The Yves Saint Laurent brand was founded in 1961 by Laurent and Pierre Berge, his partner. It is recognized for its modern pieces and was created with making certain styles popular. Saint Laurent was also known for making fashion available to a broader demographic. Unfortunately, he dealt with some mental disorders and addiction problems throughout his life, but that didn't prevent him from continuing to be a huge success. Saint Laurent was also given a solo exhibition by the Metropolitan Museum of Art in 1983, making him the first living designer to have gotten the honor. Number 10. Armani. This Giorgio-Armani-created brand was founded in 1975 after he'd racked up experience designing menswear for the Nino Cerruti company. During his time there, Armani also designed as a freelancer. The same year he declared a company under his own name, he came out with the spring and summer ready-to-wear lines for men and women. After signing a contract with L'Oreal and making important strides in the fashion world, Armani also became a successful costume designer for films like The Untouchables. Since the brand started, Armani has put out numerous products, including leather goods, cosmetics, watches, shoes, jewelry, and of course, their haute couture. In 1970, Armani created his first bomber jacket, which is still a popular fashion choice nowadays. Giorgio-Armani is still going strong at 84 years old and is worth nearly $7 billion today. But did you know that this extremely successful man wasn't always interested in fashion in his early years? Armani was going to pursue a career in medicine, but changed his path after leaving the University of Milan in 1953 and joining the Italian army. Number 9. Rolex.
The Swiss watch manufacturer was founded 114 years ago in London under the original name Wilsdorf and Davis.
Although Hans Wilsdorf was from Germany and lived in England, he and the other founder, Alfred Davis, focused on importing Hermann Egler's movements, or calibers, from Switzerland. It wasn't until 1908 that the now renowned name Rolex was conceived when Wilsdorf decided to create a name that people of any linguistic origin could pronounce easily. The partners opened a Swiss office that year as well. Rolex is mostly known for its mechanical watches, but they've developed quartz watches as well, which use quartz crystal regulated electronic oscillators. In 1926, this company even produced the world's first waterproof watch, up to 330 feet. A Rolex wristwatch even led to the discovery of the man who executed Ronald Platt in 1996, Albert Johnson Walker. They used the serial number of the watch, as well as the date on the watch calendar, to determine when the man perished. Number 8. Tiffany & Company. Also known as Tiffany's or simply Tiffany, this company is known for their top-notch jewelry that comes in signature light blue boxes. Tiffany was founded in 1837 by John B. Young and Charles Louis Tiffany in Brooklyn. They opened their first store in 1838 in Lower Manhattan, which sold various stationery and fancy goods, and was going by the name Tiffany, Young, and Ellis. It wasn't until 1853 that the brand was renamed Tiffany & Company. These partners were in the business of making revolutionary pieces. They're even credited with creating engagement rings, how we know them today. They redesigned it to show off the diamonds by lifting it off the band. They also purchased crown jewels from Spain and France, one of which is thought to have belonged to Marie Antoinette. Tiffany's main store was opened in 1940 on 57th Street and 5th Avenue in Manhattan, and has been in several movies, including Sweet Home Alabama and, of course, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Number 7. Burberry. This London-based luxury fashion brand is most widely known for its trench coats, which evolved from the company's 1912 tie locking coat that was designed by Thomas Burberry. Long before the coats first became a prominent Burberry product, he invented gabardine in 1879. This new fabric was waterproof and breathable and truly transformed the clothes people wore in the rain. In 1888, gabardine was patented.
Throughout the 1970s and 80s, Burberry grew to international prominence after signing contracts with numerous manufacturers and selling products in retail stores all over the world.
Despite Burberry's success, they've dealt with some backlash throughout the years. In 2018, reports came out that Burberry burned their unsold products to stop them from being sold at discounted prices or stolen. Greenpeace called them out immediately, but Burberry said that they captured the carbon dioxide from the burning clothes, claiming the practice was environmentally friendly. Nevertheless, the brand stopped burning clothes right away. They also announced that they'd stop using real fur in 2018. Number 6. Cartier. Cartier was founded by Louis-François Cartier in 1847 after taking over the workshop of his mentor, Adolphe Picard.
This corporation is also called Cartier International S.N.C., and they design, create, and sell luxury jewelry and watches.
In 1874, Louis-François' son, Alfred, began managing Cartier, and his sons, Jacques, Louis, and Pierre, made the company an international success. Louis took over the Paris branch and created some of the most famous designs, including their mystery clock, which exhibits a transparent dial and hidden mechanism. In 1904, the brand designed a wristwatch that was flat with a square bezel for pilots after Louis' friend Alberto Santos Dumont complained about the inconvenience of using pocket watches during flight. About 15 years later, they came out with a model called the Tank that was inspired by new Renault tanks from the First World Conflict. The signature style of the Tank watch was its rectangular shape, as well as its Roman numerals and sword-shaped hands. People that have worn these watches include Princess Diana, Jackie Kennedy, and Yves Saint Laurent. Number 5. Chanel. The House of Chanel began in 1909 after Gabrielle Chanel opened a hat shop in Paris. Her store was in the same flat that Etienne Balsan, a textile businessman and socialite, lived in, and she was his mistress. Balsan's flat also served as a salon for many high-class Frenchmen involved in sporting and hunting. This allowed Chanel the opportunity to meet several of their mistresses, who were fashionable visions, doted upon by their wealthy lovers. Gabrielle, also known as Coco, sold the woman her hats, earning herself a steady living. She eventually started designing dresses, blazers, and the Chanel suit, which was composed of 2 to 3 garments for women. In 1921, Chanel decided to begin making perfume as a complement to the Chanel suit. She commissioned Ernest Beau, an expert perfume creator, and they came out with the famous Chanel No. 5 fragrance, which was named after the sample number that Coco liked the most. Surprisingly, this perfume was made by mistake. Beau accidentally added a higher concentration of the synthetic component known as aldehyde, which gave it a lemony, soapy smell. This unintentional addition resulted in the world's most popular perfume, and a bottle of No. 5 is still sold every 30 seconds today.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Number 4. Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton was founded in 1854 in Paris, France, by the man of the same name. He introduced a lightweight, airtight canvas trunk in 1858. The trunks were the first to have flat tops, allowing them to be stacked easily for traveling. Louis Vuitton passed away in 1892, and the management of the company was passed to his son, Georges. His son wanted the brand to become an international corporation. When 1913 rolled around, the Louis Vuitton building was opened in Paris and was the world's most sizable travel goods store at the time. Several more stores opened after that in several cities. This brand wasn't always on the up and up, however. You might not have guessed that Louis Vuitton once collaborated with the enemies during Germany's occupation of France in the Second World Conflict. Although they've done what they can not to acknowledge this information, a book detailing their association came out in 2004, Louis Vuitton, A French Saga. Since those days, Louis Vuitton has moved on and is one of the most valuable brands in the world. The LV monogram is iconic and is featured on nearly all the corporation's products, with their most prominent being bags and luggage. Number 3. Dior.
Christian Dior was born in 1905 in France. He had 2 brothers and 2 sisters, Raymond, Bernard, Catherine, and Jacqueline.
Dior founded his company in 1946 and presented his first collection in 1947. Harper's Bazaar called it New Look because the designs were different from the norm. The outfits were more curvy and less boxy than previous styles. Dior used bodices, corsets, and petticoats that made dresses flare at the waist, so his models looked voluptuous. Despite the initial backlash from women and other artists who believed the style was ridiculous and didn't like the use of a significant amount of fabric, Dior's designs transformed women's typical dresses, and Paris was reborn as the world's center of fashion. Considering his brand's immense amount of success, you probably wouldn't have known that Christian Dior didn't exactly have it made in the shade to begin with. To begin making money, he sold sketches of his designs for 10 cents a piece. After leaving school in 1928, his dad helped him open an art gallery, where he sold Pablo Picasso pieces, but it had to be closed when the Great Depression hit. Number 2. Prada. This luxury brand specializes in travel accessories, perfumes, leather handbags, and various other things. Mario and Martino Prada started the company in 1913, selling leather goods. Surprisingly, Mario Prada believed that women shouldn't have a role in business, but his son wasn't interested in taking it on, so his daughter ultimately took over Prada for 20 years before her daughter, Miuccia Prada, took it over in 1978.
Miuccia, now 70 years old, has a PhD in political science from the University of Milan.
She also trained at the Piccolo Teatro di Milano to work as a mime, which she did for 5 years. Miuccia designed the corporation's first popular handbag in 1985, which was made of nylon. Things kept getting better from there, and Prada became a status symbol by the 1990s. Prada's signature look is sleek, simple, and high class. Their use of rich fabrics and crisp lines, as well as the basic color palette, keeps Prada ever popular. Number 1. Gucci. This company was founded by none other than Guccio Gucci in 1921 in Florence, Italy. It became one of the most successful leather goods manufacturers.
When he was younger, Gucci worked in Paris and London in hotels. He got the idea for his business after seeing the lavish luggage guests would bring to the Savoy Hotel with them.
As he and his sons expanded Gucci, their stores sold finely crafted leather shoes, handbags, and loafers. Plus, they sold knitwear and silks. When Italy was under a dictatorship in 1940, it was increasingly hard to come by leather, so they experimented with other fabrics. The company came out with the bamboo bag, which is still popular today. Although Gucci has obviously grown into an incredibly prosperous luxury brand, there was a time during the early 1990s where it nearly went bankrupt. New accessories weren't making money, and they faced a 3-year-long downfall when scandals concerning Gucci came out. But when Tom Ford moved to Milan to work for Gucci, things turned around. He went from designing women's clothes to menswear in under half a year, and then he started designing shoes. Ford ended up taking over fragrances, advertising, store design, and numerous other responsibilities as well, and was promoted to creative director in 1994. Between 1995 and 1996, Gucci's sales increased by an impressive 90%, and Gucci was worth $4 billion by 1999. Nowadays, Gucci is the top-most selling Italian brand.
Today's featured comment comes from Salman on our Untold Truth About Kanye West video. Thanks for your comment, Salman. Don't forget to leave your thoughts below, and we might feature you in a future video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.